Oh, we lock it up big. Missed the breaking point. Hello, race fans, and welcome back to the F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. In this episode, we've got the Chinese Grand Prix on deck after a disastrous third race. Last episode at the Vietnam Grand Prix, a bad race. If you missed that one, I'll put a link up at the top right-hand corner of the screen for you to go back and watch it, get caught up. But in short, a poor performance from me. The car was not up to snuff, did not fit the track whatsoever, and we really struggled. But go give it a watch, come back, and you'll be all caught up. But as far as looking forward, that's what we're going to do. A lot of stuff going on here, so let's take a look at all the administrative activities that got to get taken care of before we can get to the track. First things first, activities to get picked. We had 8 days to fill up between now and the Grand Prix. So I picked 3 activities: sponsor advertisement that's going to give us team acclaim and cash, aerodynamics equipment upgrade that's going to give a 5% boost to our aerodynamics department, and 30 resource points, and a marketing strategy conference that's going to give us plus 100 team acclaim. So that seems good. We also have an invitational event between now and then, which we'll dive into and take a look at. I think those are important, but we'll see. No changes here to any of the facilities. Holding on to the money. We're a little under $2 million right now, so I'm not going to improve anything here yet. But if we have a good enough day in China, perhaps that'll change. But for now, no changes here as far as our facilities go. In the R&D department, did move forward with 2 upgrades on the aerodynamics side: secondary wing flaps and rear wing outer strakes, 2 minor rear downforce and front downforce upgrades that should be ready, if they don't fail, should be ready after China before we go to Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. So a couple things in the works there. So that's good. Durability upgrade came through. We did that durability upgrade for the MGUK. That came through without a problem, so that went on. So that's good as well. Boys are doing a nice job in the shop getting these upgrades out without failure. As we look at the R&D in progress, you can see we have the engine power ignition system, which is in development, which should be ready, I think, before this race. We'll see. I think it's before China that it'll go on the car if it's successful. And then our 2 aerodynamic upgrades that I just outlined will be ready for deployment on Wednesday, the 22nd of April. And we look at the actual progress of R&D, we can see that, well, things are getting a little bit tighter at the top. Ferrari made a big leap up going into this event. So they're right up on top of Red Bull there. Red Bull not too far behind Mercedes. And then you have the mid-pack McLaren, Racing Point, and Renault are all pretty close to each other. Alfa Romeo just sort of in their own little gap, their own little world. We're pretty much right on top of Haas. AlphaTauri's right there on top of Alfa Romeo as well. They're pretty close together. And then Williams is really far down there. So it looks like we're pulling away from Williams. We're neck and neck with Haas. And we got a big gap to go if we're going to catch that mid-pack. Did do a little update to the car livery as well. Unlocked a new livery in the, whatever it's called, the Podium Pass. Whatever the Battle Pass is for this game. I think it's called Podium Pass. But we got a new livery unlocked. And so I went and painted it up with our colors. So you get a look at it here. I like it. It's pretty sharp. It cuts around the car really nicely, and it allows us to highlight all of our different colors all around the car. Makes the sponsors pop out really nicely, and yeah, so there you go. Different look for the car coming into China. Hopefully shake off the bad vibes from Vietnam. Last but not least, let's take a look at the driver's standings. We fall down to 12th from 10th after no points scored in Vietnam. Lewis Hamilton still sits atop the charts there by 10 over Vettel, Leclerc, and 3rd, Albon Verstappen. So your usual players there all in the top 6. McLaren, Renault head up the rest of that group, and then it's kind of an assortment down. Our teammate, Juan Manuel Correa, no points scored yet. He's down in 21st, but nobody down there scored any points. We look at the constructor standings. Renault scored their first points of the season. McLaren leapt actually, Renault. I think Renault already had points. I don't know. I don't recall. But in any event, McLaren jumped up to 4th from 5th. We fall down to 7th. AlphaTauri got 1 point. So, there's 3 teams that still haven't scored a point. We're in 7th. One good result from us. We can get our teammate into the points. If we can get into the points, never know what could happen. All right, now with all the administrative stuff out of the way, let's advance time and see what happens. Here's our
We're
event.
in a position now where we're able to attract a new sponsor to the team. Head over to the corporate tab and select the sponsors screen to choose who we should approach.
Okay, so we got to pick a second sponsor, but we got to do this invitational event first. Looks like $150,000 and 1,000 to claim are on the line from Zandvoort. So I'll go check this out, try and get this thing knocked off, and we'll come right back and lead into the Grand Prix weekend. All right, so we completed the invitational event. That was cool. So we got $150,000 for that and 1,000 to claim. Great. That's very good. It was a couple laps around Zandvoort in a 2010 Red Bull RB6, which is pretty fun. Fun to hear the V10 again and all that. But got that completed, so let's advance time again and see where we end up. All right. Got our resources. Got our activities done. That's it. $2.5 million in the bank. Got our activities all completed. And we're good to go. So guess that's about all that can be said here from the admin side. Nothing left to say after that. Let's head to the track, see if we can get some points in China.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. The ever-tightening turns 1 and 2 will prove tricky in the slippery conditions here at Shanghai, and anyone that slides wide will lose a lot of time getting back on track. Turn 14 should still be the best place for overtaking, but we'll have to see some improvement in the weather before the drivers can take advantage of that DRS assistance. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant. And tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And starting alongside him P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Albon, Ricciardo, Ocon, Davidson and Lando Norris, Sainz, Gasly, Lance Stroll and Perez, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Antonio Giovinazzi and Kevin Magnussen. Correa, Russell, Latifi and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
All right, welcome to the grid in Shanghai, a rainy Shanghai, a very rainy Shanghai. All practice, all qualifying was in the dry, and now here we are, race day in the wet. Not just a little bit of rain, a lot of bit of rain. We got full wets on this thing. I have no idea what to expect. We're not prepared for these conditions, but then again, I don't think anybody is. But you saw in the rundown from qualifying, we made it all the way into Q3. I put together some burners of a lap. Let me tell you something. It was the car was fantastic. Car has been fantastic, but now with the rain, everything's up in the air. I have no idea what to expect. If we're going to be good, if we're going to be bad in the wet, I have no clue. Should be a chaotic race, though. Wet races are usually kind of goofy, so we'll see what happens. Let's take a look at the race strategy. It's going to be raining the entire race. Wets all the way through. So we can do a one-stopper or a two-stopper. I don't know why the alternative strategy is even offered because it's 15, 16, 17 seconds slower. 28-lap race. Typically, you're going to burn a little bit more fuel if you don't manage the revs, and I've been pretty bad at managing fuel, so I'm going to put a little bit extra. I'll put a lap extra in there, and if we have to use it up later, we can use it up later. But do I want to put that much in? Split the difference. Anyway, so that's going to be the strategy. One stop at lap 14. Just cut this thing right in half. 14 and 14 should take us to the end, and it'll be wet the entire time, so no DRS. Have to manage our ERS and our braking zones, protect our front wing, something I didn't do a very good job of in Vietnam. But, all right, get your umbrellas out. It's time to go racing in the wet. All right, we're away. Smooth getaway. Can't see shit. This is... I've never done a race in rain like this before. I feel like we're just inching along. No contact yet. Got Norris next to us here. Oh boy. This is wild. Struggling for grip. Norris will get back on the inside here. Now we're under assault from Sainz. Oh, big lockup right there. To not run into the back of Norris. We're going to run a bit wide. We got it. All right. A little chaotic there at the beginning. But we got a handle on this. At least I think we got a handle on it. Oh my gosh, 28 laps of this. I'm going to be exhausted after this. But here we go, onto the long back straightaway. Free and clear from Sainz. Settle in and log some laps. This is incredible, this weather. I saw it before I launched the race weekend that the forecast called for rain. I didn't think it was going to be heavy rain. I thought maybe it was going to be like intermediates weather, not full wets. That's wild. Just have to tiptoe on the throttle. Really have to tiptoe.
We're monitoring somewhere on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to see a loss of power.
Oh, no kidding. That's not good. Why didn't you tell me that before we went racing? I would have changed it out, taken the grid penalty. Jeez. Things you don't want to hear at the start of a 28-lap race. That's okay. Sainz applying a lot of pressure to us. Thankfully, with no DRS, we're not going to get swallowed up by that, so we just got to use our overtake really wisely here. That should keep us out of harm's way for a little while, I think, while we defend. China's a track that I really, really like. It took me a while to get used to it. It took me a while to really like this track. I used to not like it. I did not like it one bit. But now that I've got some laps and some experience around here from last year's game, I really like this track. It flows really nicely. It's fun. It's really fun, especially in the dry. I mean, it's pretty crazy in the wet here, but in the dry, it's an absolute blast. If you can get it right, you link all these corners together, it's a hoot. I really, really like it. Just like Bahrain. I think these tracks remind me of each other, and maybe that's why I find a lot of success at them. Long, flowing corners. Rewards smoothness. This little area right here always used to trip me up, that little double left-hander. I always used to get that wrong. Oh, we lock it up big. Missed the braking point. We're going to lose one spot to Sainz. That's a mistake. Had a little collision with Stroll when Reed joined. Can't make those mistakes. That drops us out of the points. Damn it. But yeah, I've always liked this track.
Okay, gap ahead is
I've always had a lot of fun
1.6
on it, so I was looking forward to this one, especially after Vietnam. God, that was such a rough race for us. I really think points are a possibility for us here in this race. You know, it might be like another 8th place finish or something, but we're going to have to outrun the McLarens if we're going to do it. And the McLarens are pretty quick. Well, we're probably going to have to be replacing some components before the next race in Zandvoort. I feel like in Sector 1 we're faster than the McLaren cars. I think they're faster in Sector 3. Sector 2 we're kind of even. Well, we're doing a good job of holding off Stroll, so that makes me happy. But we're just losing ground to the top 10. Just can't hang. I love how these cars drive in the rain. It's so fun, just how they're right on the verge of breaking contact and grip with the racing surface, but you could steer out of it. It just has this, like, I don't know, slidey sensation to it. I love it. It's very fun. Like, you just feel the moisture and grease of the racing surface, but you still feel like you have grip, so you can confidently turn the car. It's great. They modeled it so well. You got to stay in that racing groove, too. You don't want to get in that standing water, because that's just going to make you hydroplane. You're going to go really, really slow if you do. This is going to come down to executing on pit road. Get that pit stop right. I hope the boys back in the box are ready. I'm going to need a big one from them. Oh, boy. That's 2 mistakes. Well, that drops us from 11th down to 16th. Can't afford to make those mistakes, man. We're lucky we didn't loop it all the way around, but geez. Taking myself right out of this thing.
These conditions don't look like they're shifting. We're predicting at least 20 minutes of heavy rainfall.
All right, 20 minutes of heavy rainfall. Got it. It's so hard to see when you're in the spray of another car. But if we're in the spray of another car, that means we're close. We're hanging. We're hanging. Again, it might just come down to pit stops. See me playing with the fuel mix there.
No time concerns at the moment. Just focus on the driving.
You can use the lean mode in the slow corners. Don't need to use standard fuel mapping in the slow corners. So, plus it'll help with power delivery, so we're not spinning the rear tires as much, struggling for traction. Other than that, I think I'm going to come down pit road a lap early. I think I'm going to come down on lap 13. Try and do an undercut. Not that it really makes a huge difference in the rain, but running in this traffic might affect me. So if I can run on clean track by myself, with no spray or anything, it might actually be better. Well, we've driven away from the Haas cars, which is good. We should be beating them. Forgot to mention before the race, actually, I got an interview after qualifying. And I had to select a rival, so I selected Romain Grosjean as my rival. So if I can stay in front of him and beat him, I get 1,100 acclaim
We'll
for
give
it.
you full wets in the next pit window, opening in 2 laps, full wets in 2 laps.
So Grosjean will be our rival for a little while, I think 6 races or something. Seemed like a reasonable pick since we're faster than Haas. It just made sense to pick them. And it actually paid 100 more acclaim to choose Grosjean instead of Magnussen, so I went with Grosjean. I feel like we're all pretty close on pace. Really, really close on pace. So it really is going to be
We're slowly gaining on the car
a difference on pit road,
keep this momentum.
which is great. We can execute on pit road. We might be able to leapfrog some of these guys. All right, boys, coming to you. All right, here we go. Kind of got on like a scaredy cat, but that's okay. Again, don't want to make a mistake for myself trying to make up time on pit road. I'll get better at it.
Complete, go now.
3-1, gross.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tires.
We're still out in front of Latifi. That's how slow he is. Jesus. He's terrible in this game. Like, they have absolutely made him awful. Poor bastard. I wonder if people are going to be pitting here. If this is the lap they're coming in, it looks like it. And there's Perez right back in front of us. Damn it. Oh, we had to make a big save there. Rear really stepped out.
P19, you have P19. Perez ahead. The gap to the car ahead is 1.1 seconds. They're on fresh wets. Grosjean is behind you. Our gap behind is 8.6 seconds. They're on fresh wets. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 14 laps to go. Juan Manuel is in the pits. Juan Manuel in the pits.
All right, there's your full race update. You heard the man. All right. We got to do something. I just don't know what I can do to get up to these guys and make a move on them. I mean, there's just no passing. You can't catch anybody. Which makes those mistakes that I made even worse. Makes me even madder at myself for making it. I don't know if we were going to get, to 10th, but we could have maybe been in a position to when we were in 11th. Certainly can't do that when you're in 16th. And it's really a shame this race was in the wet, man. If this race had been in the dry, I think we would have been in really, really good shape. I think we would have been really strong. But that's not what the weather had in mind for us.
Teammate behind is 10.9 seconds.
Unfortunate, but that's the fun of it. Surprise around every curve in this game. The weather is fantastic. I love the fact that it has dynamic weather and it changes, and it can be dry, 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 and then rainy, and everyone gets put in that same box. They got to figure it out. And unfortunately, I made 2 mistakes. Cost us a chance at points. Possibly a 10th, maybe 9th. The one thing I could do to try pitting a lap early didn't work. And I can't get to Perez. I just can't get to him.
We're accumulating some wear on the MGUK. To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
Yeah. Shut up. Everything's wearing. I get it. Fucking everything has been wearing in this race. Now you're starting to wear my patience. Keep telling me this shit. I can't do nothing about it. I'm driving my balls off here, Jeff. Cut me some fucking slack. Jeez. I don't care. I don't care if it's wearing. I don't give a damn. Tell me after the race. What do you want me to do about it? I wonder if anybody's on that 2-stop strategy. Wouldn't that be something? If somebody actually pulled out the 2-stopper for wets and wets? Somebody did that? Oh, that would be cool. I don't think anybody could be that stupid to do that strategy, though, right? That strategy was dumb as hell. There's no way. It's so frustrating to know that Perez is right there, and we just keep him in the same gap, and I can't do anything with him. God, that's frustrating. Oh, Albon's out. Uh-oh. What happened to Albon? That's a free spot for us. I would imagine he was in front of us. Oh, boy. Alexander Albon out of this event. Red Bull in shambles. Well, that will promote us up to 15th. Coming to start 8 laps to go here at the line.
We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap.
Yeah, I'd say so. We pulled right the fuck away from Magnussen. Can't do nothing. Can't do nothing with him. God. Well, it seems like we're destined just to finish here in 15th, which sucks. But again, that's the consequences of those mistakes that I made. That's the whole point of this playthrough. Consequences.
Heavy rain to stay a while. Doesn't look like it's moving anytime soon.
Thanks, Jeff. Would have been really cool if you said, hey, it looks like we're going to get a break in the weather, and we can switch to softs before the end. That would have been really great. But no. Apparently we're in a fucking monsoon.
Be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tire grip around now.
Great. What else am I losing in this race? Fucking losing everything in this race. Engine power. Tire grip. Fucking my sanity. Shut up! What I feel like I've gotten a lot closer to these guys. Are they slowing down? Holy shit. Ha! That was a big save. Well, we were close to him.
Okay, try to overtake him.
Overtake who? Who are you looking at? My dude's drunk. How do I always get the drunk crew chiefs? Or spotters, like TJ in my NASCAR Heat series. I swear to God, that dude's not watching the race that I'm in. Try to overtake him. Shut up!
Laps of fuel remaining.
I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone. No wonder Kimi Räikkönen said that.
Okay, the car behind is catching you by 0.5 a lap. 0.5.
He's 14 seconds back. I don't want to fucking hear about it. I don't care if he's catching me a second a lap. He's 14 seconds back, dude. He ain't catching me. We're going to have a serious word after this race, Jeff. 2 laps to go here. I can see 12th place.
This is your final lap of the race.
Oh, brother. I mean, these guys haven't been able to pass each other, so how the hell am I going to be able to pass them? Verstappen wins. Congrats to him. Final run down the back straightaway. Everything we got. Rich mode. All of the battery. Here we go. Not going to be able to do anything with them. Could boot him if I wanted to. That's about it. Oh, man. What a wild race. It's going to be a 15th place finish for us. Ugh.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Will do, Jeff. Thanks.
Red Bull pulling out all the stops today. What a great win. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
The rain.
They certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
All right, here are the final results from a very wet Chinese Grand Prix. Max Verstappen gets the win by 0.7 of a second over Valtteri Bottas. Vettel in third, Hamilton fourth, Leclerc fifth. Renault gets 6th and 7th with Ricciardo and Ocon. McLaren 8th and 9th with Norris and Sainz. And Lance Stroll gets a point for Racing Point in 10th. Antonio Giovinazzi comes from 17th to finish 11th. Gasly, Raikkonen, Perez. We get 15th. Magnussen, our teammate, in 17th. Kvyat, Grosjean, Russell, Latifi, and Alex Albon. DNF in this race. Only one. Latifi got lapped. He's terrible. Oh, what could have been. What could have been. Remember, we were fighting with Sainz and Stroll. Two very costly mistakes took us out of the points, I think, today. The weather didn't help, but mistakes certainly didn't.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts.
Was it?
You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret?
There's no secret. It's about having a great team and car.
How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today?
It fucked it up. But I guess that's not suitable for television. So what are my options? It certainly didn't dampen my spirits. It changed strategies, but the top drivers still performed best. Yeah, no comment.
It was more like Dodgems than Formula One today, wasn't it?
No. No, it wasn't. No comment.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. All right, rivalry breakdown against Grosjean. We've got him 6-3 right now. Team Acclaim. Good day at the office. We level up to 4. Correa already leveled up to 5 before the race. And our team levels up to 6. Nice. We got 120K for completing laps for our zigzag. No damage deductions, so $100,000 for us. Puts us over $3 million. That's good. Good day at the office again, I would say. From a business standpoint, not bad. Minus the whole not scoring points thing. All right, so that is the Chinese Grand Prix in the books. Disappointment, man. I am disappointed. We made it into Q3, 9th fastest in qualifying, and then the skies open up. Torrential downpour. Have to run full wets the entire race. I make 2 mistakes, nearly loop the car. Save it, but we could never make that time back up. I think we could have gotten 9th or 10th today in this race. But I wasn't perfect on the track, and in those conditions, you absolutely have to be perfect. So, unfortunate, but that's the way she goes in Autosport, and we'll just have to bounce back in the next race at the Dutch Grand Prix. Another new track, Zandvoort, one I have a little more experience with because of iRacing, but in an F1 car, not a whole lot. So, hopefully we don't start off on the back foot like we did in Vietnam. Hopefully we can hit the track running, get some upgrades in there as well, and show up with a really nice car. But, yeah, we got some time between now and then to do some activities and some more administrative work. We got some money. We got some R&D points. So next time we see the car and see these screens, there's going to be a hell of a lot more going on. I promise you that. We're going to spend some money upgrading this car as well with R&D points. And we'll probably have a new sponsor as well. So make sure you come back for the next episode. But I appreciate you watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Rain races are always very strange, and I think we got a really good taste of what a rain race is like in this game, especially when you run full wets. Very, very challenging. But I like a good challenge. A lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did, leave a thumbs up on the video. Really helps me out. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this race and how you think the Dutch Grand Prix will go for us. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join the community. Got a lot of sim racing content coming to the channel here, so if you don't want to miss out on it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Channel's been growing like crazy, and I'm very, very appreciative for all of you for supporting the work that I am doing here. That's it. This episode's done. We'll see you in the next one when we take on the Dutch Grand Prix.